Hey y'all, I have been actively trying to lose weight for the past 13 years. Since my first year of college, I lost it in the past, but it took me 2 years. And when I gained it back, which took about a couple of months to gain back, I have been struggling since then to get it off. Earlier this year, I lost 45 pounds in 3 months, and I have been doing very well with managing my weight loss since then. So in this video, I'm gonna be talking to y'all about the mindset shifts that I made with food that helped the weight literally melt off. I have been thinking about doing a video talking more about what I did to lose the weight, how I actually lost the weight, but really thinking about it, it didn't even make sense. It wouldn't even make sense making that video, telling you that information without telling you how I had to change my mind in order to get those results, because you are going to have to make a mindset shift. It all starts at the core of what you believe and what you think to get you to that point of actual sustainable weight loss. So the first thing I want to share with y'all is that I had to stop falling into FOMO, the fear of missing out. Let me tell you, anytime my husband was out and he called me or texted me and was like, hey, I'm at Chick-fil-A, I'm at da-da-da, you want something to eat? It didn't matter if I wasn't hungry like that, if I had just eaten or whatever. If he was offering me food, I was gonna take it. I worked at a job where one of my co-workers brought the office donuts every single Friday from a really good donut spot too. I'm not talking about no Krispy Kreme. If we were enjoying a day out, we went to the mall, even if I'm not really hungry like that, if a pretzel sounds good, I'm like, okay, let's get a pretzel. The fear of missing out was so real, because who about to turn away a free meal? Like, who is about to give up that blessing? You know what I'm saying? Which is funny, because in the end, a lot of times it's not even a blessing, okay? It's gluttony. But anytime that there was an opportunity for me to get some food, especially if it was for the free, I was eating it. Also, coupons used to get me real bad. There were so many times where I was like, okay, I'm about to restart my weight loss, I'm about to get serious and lock in again. And almost every single time, an influx of the most realest coupons would come in the mail, or a restaurant or fast food spot that I loved would start this special with this amazing deal. It used to get me every time, especially with the coupons, because I'd be like, oh my gosh, this coupon expires next week and I love that Popeye spicy chicken sandwich. I need to go get that. Like, it would be on the calendar, like, I need to go to Popeyes to get this chicken sandwich and this fried deal before this day, and my coupon expires. Like, it was so bad. But I really had to remove the fear that I was missing out on a deal or something for free to get where I am today. And one of the major things I had to start telling myself is, Gabby, that restaurant is not about to shut down tomorrow. It's going to be there next week. It's going to be there for you to get some other time. Somebody offering you something right now, they're going to offer you something again. Next thing is that I had to understand that it takes your mind 5 to 10 minutes to register that your stomach is full. Once you eat, your body and your mind, you know, send messages to each other. You could already be full, but the message from your body to your brain that you're full has not gotten there yet for you to know that you need to stop eating. So I made it a practice to wait at least 5 minutes, preferably 10, before I went and got second, because you're still gonna feel hungry even though you just ate a whole big plate. But if you give your body some time to process the fact that you actually are full and you don't have any more room, you can stop eating. A really big one for me is that I had to stop feeling like choosing a healthy option to eat when I went out to eat was wasteful and boring. Every time I went to a restaurant, it was almost a ticket for me to eat whatever I want, because I thought, why would I pay for a piece of grilled chicken and some rice and asparagus? I can make that at home. Like, that's a waste of my money. I came here to eat something good. And what we got to understand is that these things that we tell ourselves are what's keeping us overweight. I'm not saying that when you go out to eat, you should never enjoy something on the menu, especially when you're traveling or when you're in a place that you're normally in. But when you're talking about you are normally living your life and you just eating out by yourself, eating out with your friends, your partner, whoever, and this is a place that you frequent, or a chain restaurant that's everywhere, you don't have to choose that less healthy option every single time. You have to have the thought that, okay, yeah, this healthy meal is something I can make it at home, but it's a restaurant, so it's going to taste better then I might think in my head. Also, another thing, I had to break away from traditional holiday narrative. Over here, baby, in this household, we eat breakfast on Thanksgiving, period. Because the reason you don't eat breakfast on Thanksgiving is because when that food is ready, you can bust down. You can go for seconds, thirds, take a nap, wake up and eat again. That's the Thanksgiving tradition. That's the vibe. We're not doing that. We're gonna eat breakfast so that we can eat like civilians and enjoy the meal. When you follow these normal holiday traditions, you're only adding to this pot of misery of being overweight that you're actually trying to dig yourself out of. There's so many times we like, oh, I'm gonna start doing better after the holidays, because we already know there's so much food around. But let me tell you, as long as you keep celebrating these holidays, they're gonna come around every single year. So how are you ever gonna overcome the physical challenges that you want to overcome with your body if you keep falling by these traditions? I had to stop thinking that one bite or one treat was okay. There would be times where I would have a few chips or I have a cookie throughout the day, and I'm like, it's just one cookie. It's just a few bites of chips. Like, I'm not even gonna eat the whole bag. But this is actually detrimental to you losing weight over time, because you do that one time and then next thing you know, you're doing it multiple times throughout the day or throughout the week, and you fall right back into this point of eating this garbage all the time. Or I don't even know which is worse. You could have your little treats every now and again throughout the day or every other day. Step on the scale, find that you lost the weight, and then you're gonna be happy because you're still seeing progress. You're still seeing that you're losing the weight, and you haven't lost that weight, still eating those ways, you're going to keep doing it. So it's going to transition from being just a little treat or that it's okay to something that you start normalizing as a part of your diet, to eat stuff like that when you know you necessarily don't need it. And so when you get further into your weight loss journey and you start stalling and you stop seeing the progress you were making before that you really love, then you're going to start being like, this is not working, the weight is coming off too slow, and all of these things that we tell ourselves when we get mad, when we don't see the results that we want to make. Because those little decisions that you're making throughout the day and throughout the week, they matter. You're taking something that seems really small and you're compounding it every time. And you're stacking weight and sugar and everything up against yourself, minimizing it in your head, not really realizing how big of an impact it's going to have on you, if not right now, in the end or the future to come. This next one kind of relates to that. So, you know, when we're doing our thing, when things are going well, we feeling good, we looking good and all of that, we start being really proud of ourselves. Like, we're really proud that we chose carrots over French fries. We're really proud that we chose not to eat those cookies. We are really proud that we chose to order a water instead of our favorite soda, right? At first, this is really good, because if anybody is going to be your hype man or your hype woman, you need to be that #1 person. You need to be your #1 fan when it comes to supporting yourself. But this could actually end up hindering you if you stick with this mindset, because ultimately what you're going to have to do is start normalizing that you're a healthy person and you eat well. When you start feeling like, oh, I did a good job, that's when you're going to want to treat yourself. When you keep thinking, yes, I did that, you're separating yourself from being a healthy person. You know, I had to get to a point where I really stopped having to congratulate myself for making a healthy decision. If I'm a healthy person who lives a healthy lifestyle and is at a healthy weight, why am I congratulating myself for doing something that I do? You know, like, this is my lifestyle. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be thankful for what you got going on or proud of yourself, but you create a wedge between the current you and the future healthy, slim fit you, or the version, or however that version looks or feels that you want to be. If you are wanting to be that person, you have to be that person, and that person is not going to pat herself on the back because she chose not to go for thirds. That's just how she lives her life. This next one is a big one, I think, for women. And what we have to stop doing is using someone else having a poor diet or making poor diet decisions as a safe space for us to do the same. So if we told ourselves We're going to tighten up in the kitchen. We're going to eat better and make better decisions. And we told maybe our best friend that. And they're like, okay, cool, that's what's up. Like, I might do it too, or I'll do it too, or you do your thing. And then we get around them and they order what they order. That sounds good. And then they ask you, ooh, what you getting? And you like, I don't know, I'm thinking about getting that country fried steak with some grits. And they like, ooh, that sounds good, you should get that. We automatically feel comfortable and safe, like we're not being judged. And so we end up ordering the thing that we may actually want because we know we're with somebody who's not going to judge us, even though we said that we're going to do well and eat right. You have to stick to your word. And if you have that sort of conviction, that's good because it keeps you in check. It's so good that you have people in your corner that support you regardless of what, that won't slam you or make you feel bad when you are feeling at a weak point or want to make a decision based off your taste buds. But you can't be doing that every single time, especially when you're around people who don't eat well. My husband has a sugar bug. That's what I call it. He will eat down some sugar. I had to stop thinking that dessert is always supposed to follow dinner. I honestly don't know at what point this became a thought process for me or a habit for me, because I've never really been a sweets person. I'm more of like a hearty food person. I like a meal. You know, I would come home from school and want leftovers that we had for dinner or want a sandwich or something. I didn't want a Debbie cake. I would prefer something like chips, you know, something savory. So I really don't even know at what point this got even embedded in my mind. You know what? It was probably because of my husband, because he loves sugar. Like, he loves him some sugar. You have to rid in your mind that dessert comes after dinner or lunch or whenever. It's okay to eat your dinner and then put the fork down and be done for the day. There's no need to make room for dessert or leave room for dessert or fit in desserts. That type of stuff will catch up and it sticks with you, especially at the end of the night when you're not about to be doing much more moving or anything at that point. Next, y'all, water. Water is okay. I had to understand that water is always okay. When you're at a restaurant, I think people's first thought when you order a water is that you're being cheap or you don't want to spend money on a drink. You have to not care about that, and you have to know that you're making the right decision health-wise and really learn to love water. Like, every time I go out to eat, I order water and lemon. This is important when it comes to going to a fast food spot, because I do still eat fast food. If you order a combo, they're gonna ask you what kind of drink you want. I used to order a drink because I felt like it was wasteful to get a water when I'm paying for a drink. But after a while, when I really started getting off of these sugary drinks, I started to ask them for a water. And my husband was still in that mindset. He go, that's so wasteful. But my mind had already shifted because I'm like, this is what I want. So now I'm at a place where I would just order the entree and the side and then a water. And so if it's a situation where it only makes sense or it works out for me to order a drink and I ordered a drink, I will give the drink to somebody else and still drink water. The more you drink water, the more you realize you actually crave water, because that's what hydrates your body. We only drink soda, juice, or whatever because it tastes good. If you are in a place in your life where you think, I'm thirsty, and you want a Sprite, I'm sorry, but you're not treating your body right. Because that is not what your body should be craving when you're thirsty and dehydrated. That stuff makes you more thirsty and dehydrated because it's full of sugar. I also had to come to the sad realization that I was eating too much unnecessarily. A lot of us have just really quirky diet but still are overweight, and we get so confused, or other people get so confused, like, girl, what, you don't look like you weigh that much. Or you think, I don't understand how I'm so big because I don't really eat that much. But I promise you, if you start paying more attention to what you're eating throughout the day and how you're eating, you will really start to see how unnecessarily you eat. And I really realized this when I started intermittent fasting. I'd want to eat something and then I'm like, oh shoot, I'm only wanting to eat this right now because it's actually just sitting on the counter right now. I want to eat this right now because my son didn't finish it. I want to eat this right now because somebody offered it to me, and it's like we sitting here watching a movie, so why not? There's so many times where you eat something where you're actually not even hungry, but when they present it to you and you think about how it tastes, how it smells, it turns on certain receptors in your brain and then have you like, you know what, that sounds good, and it holds us back. It keeps us overweight. So you may have to actually log and monitor what you're eating and how much of it throughout the day. Not anything seriously like MyFitnessPal or anything like that, which is crazy because I think they actually charge now. Just write down throughout the day what you eat and how much. Just be real with yourself, and by the end of the day, look at that thing and see how much you ate. Even if you only ate a few times throughout the day, how much of it did you have? A really big one for me is that I had to realize and live by the fact that I don't have to finish my food. Now, I think a lot of us have realized that we kind of struggle with this, and it is attached to our childhoods with being told and forced that we had to clean our plate. I don't even think that's totally what it was for me. Like, I think mostly for me is that there have been periods of my life where I didn't know what was going to be for dinner. I didn't have much money to buy anything to eat, and times were just hard. Or I was eating the same things over and over and over again. There were times that I was eating food from work because that was the only solid meal I knew I was going to have for that day, which added to the FOMO, but it also added to this idea that I had to finish everything on my plate. And it really unlocked a whole new level of health and power for me when I let go of this idea, when I let go of this belief. It's okay to save some of that for later. It's okay not to eat that. I saw one time on The Biggest Loser where they had recommended to the contestants that when they go out to eat, to ask them, can they only bring out half of the serving of food and put the other serving in a box to go. And I've actually done that before. Or when they bring my food out, because some people feel like they'll get cheated if they do that. When they bring your food out, ask them right away to bring you a box so you can just go ahead and put it away. I used to be a burger girl, okay? It don't matter what type of restaurant I was at. Could have been seafood, Mexican, it didn't matter. I was always gonna pick a burger or whatever version of a burger that they had, and french fries. That was just my thing. And so to me, something like a burger and a fry could not be saved for later. This was before the time of air fryers, and then when air fryers came about, I didn't have an air fryer for a while. So a burger had to be eaten because it would get soggy. Fries have to get eaten because most of us know like what happens to fries when you don't eat them things fresh. So this added to my mindset of I gotta finish my food now. I'm full, but I need to eat all this. But now with this new mindset I have, and in the time of air fryers, where air fryers can bring even fries back to life, okay? You really don't have to eat all your food. You can box some for later. You can put it away for next time. You really have to create this mindset. That's a lot of food. I don't need all that. I'm a girl who love to eat and bust down. You have to get rid of that narrative. You have to create this new story in your mind. I had to create that narrative about myself in my mind. I started telling myself that I'm a to-go box girl. We all at least have one friend that never finishes their food and always take a to-go box. I had to tell myself that that girl at the table is gonna be me. I'm always gonna go home with a to-go box because I'm not about to eat all this food. So yeah, you really have to work on rewriting that story about yourself or how you see yourself. It's not cute to be eating like that. Also, there are times that I shouldn't eat all my food. I might have extra room to continue eating it is what I'm eating, but you know, because I do still like things that aren't necessarily the most nutritionally beneficial, I should stop eating it. And if I am still really hungry, fill it in with something else. I have my certain foods that are difficult for me not to go to seconds for, but I have to tell myself to stop because I know how I can get. And if I actually really am hungry, then I'm like, well, you gotta eat a piece of fruit. You gotta eat a salad. If you still hungry, find something else to eat, but don't go for seconds and don't go for another meal. It has to be a fruit or a vegetable. Okay, and with this one, major key for a lot of us. I had to understand that I do not have to eat to have fun. A lot of us, especially depending what culture you come from. I'm black, so I know we're like this. Anytime we get invited to some event, it doesn't matter what type of event it is. It doesn't even have to be a food center event. But if it's an event where there's a gathering where there's a bunch of people, like a parade or some sort of showcase or something, the first thought you're gonna have is, what kind of food they're gonna have there? They're gonna have some food trucks out there? Is somebody catering? Because we want to know if there's going to be food and what kind of food, because we associate having a great time with food. A lot of this is based on historical factors where coming together around food is a blessing. It's traditional, you know, but you have to get to a place where you understand, just because I'm going for a walk in the park doesn't mean we have to stop for ice cream. Just because we're going to this parade doesn't mean we need to go hungry so we can buy something to eat. If you're one of those people who likes going to the fair just to eat, I understand. When I go, I just like the food too. But it's important for you to eat first. Don't go there hungry, at least so you won't go overboard. Some of these things, it might take you a couple of times doing them to really get them wired into your new mind, to your new body, to lose this weight. And the thought processes you have, the way that you are, the way that you've been this way for a long time. So the more you exercise these mindsets, these new habits and thoughts, the other ones will begin to get pushed out, and these will become your new thoughts and the ways that you actually think and feel about yourself to get that weight to melt off your body. You cannot lose weight with the same mindsets that you have right now. That's exactly why you haven't lost it. That's exactly why women go out and get body work and have to go back again and again and again, because the physical is only a small part of it. You got to get it right in your head first. I know it's a lot of other people out there who are on a weight loss journey, who are losing the weight, who have lost the weight, and if that's you, please let us know what mindset shifts you made also that help contributed to your weight loss, so that we can get ready and snatched, not just for the new year, but just for our lives to come. We all deserve that. I love y'all so much. To the next one, and peace and love. I'm out.